1934. And we are here for the next edition of the World Cup Speed Pez 1934, hosted by the Italians, hosted by Italy. Italy were selected as host nations over one other bidder. That other bidder was Sweden. And despite the selection taking place in Stockholm, Sweden, the bid was given to Italy. Two years ago. This tournament sees the World Cup Speed Pez officials abandoning the group stage, and they have opted to go for a 16-team knockout tournament, single elimination. If tied after 90 minutes, 2 15-minute periods, and then if necessary, a penalty shootout. So all 16 teams are just 4 wins away from World Cup glory. Every team, including the hosts Italy and the defending champions France, had to qualify. Last World Cup, the Speed Pez officials had Uruguay send out invites all across South America, Asia, and in Europe. And on that note, before we get into the qualification, Uruguay, the previous hosts and runners-up of the first ever Speed Pez World Cup, have declined the offer, citing Europe's dismal acceptance to the 1930 World Cup, where only 4 European teams accepted the invite, 2 of which were a package deal, Yugoslavia and Romania. So the runners-up of 1930 are not in this tournament. They have declined. On that note, too, once again, the 4 home nations have declined the invite. Most notably, an England official calling the tournament a joke, in saying that the 4-team home nations tournament between Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and England was far superior. But as we know, FIFA have made this the official World Championship, so at some point, if the home nations want to compete, you're going to have to accept that this is the official World Championship, and they're going to have to end their self-imposed FIFA exile. For now, the home nations have declined to participate. England and Scotland were even given automatic entry to the tournament, but they have declined it. So they do not get to participate by choice in the official World Cup Championship yet again in 1934. So I mentioned the host nation Italy had to qualify. Really, it was one game played at the San Siro against Greece, and they won 4-0, courtesy of 2 goals on either side of halftime by Giuseppe Meazza. Definitely, quite possibly, the best player at this tournament. Defending champions France, what an unbelievable tournament they had 4 years ago in Uruguay, beating the hosts 4-3 on penalties after a 3-3 draw through extra time. France qualified in the same group as Germany. Courtesy of a 6-1 win over Luxembourg, Germany beat Luxembourg 9-1. Both teams decided not to play the final game. It didn't matter because they both qualified. The seeded teams are were decided by the FIFA officials, and the seeded teams are I'm just trying to pull up the information here. By the way, you can see the draw on the screen. I don't know why I cannot find the list of seeded teams. I thought I could. There we go, I found them. The seeded teams are as follows. Argentina, heavy co-favorites of the tournament, upset by Romania in 1930. I should say heavy co-favorites in 1930. Amazingly, Brazil are not a seeded team. They were usurped by France via being defending champions. Germany and Italy, the Netherlands, Austria, Czechoslovakia, and Hungary. Those are your 8 seeded teams. And staring at you in the face, spoiler alert, is the draw. The draw has taken place today. The single elimination tournament brackets are set, and they are as follows. On the left side of the bracket, a wonderfully talented Czechoslovakia team that many believe can challenge Italy should they face Italy are in the top half of the bracket, but they face stiff opposition in Spain. This is a Spain team that is very good, and quite honestly, it was one of the worst draws one of the seeded teams could get. Should Czechoslovakia prevail, or Spain pull off what would be a miniature upset, waiting for them quite possibly could be an unbelievably talented Hungary side, led by Toldi. And they will face a considerably weaker Egypt. So one of Czechoslovakia, Spain, Hungary, and Egypt will make it to the semifinal of the World Cup. On the bottom side of the left bracket, the Netherlands are a seeded team. They face a marginally talented, just as talented squad. I shouldn't say marginally. They face their familiar neighbors, Belgium, who are about as equally talented as the Netherlands. That will be a fiery encounter. Whoever survives the friendly knockout game of Netherlands-Belgium could face, quite possibly, one of the dark horses of the tournament, Austria. A side probably about as talented as they come on this left side of the bracket. I mean, you look at Czechoslovakia and you see talent everywhere. Now, Jedli, a wonderful player, but then you go to Austria and you see quite possibly what the scouts and pundits are saying. They are the favorites. I shouldn't even call them dark horses. In fact, a lot of pundits have pegged Hungary as one of the favorites on the left. But many people are citing Austria as the group winners, or as the team that will prevail on the left. And a lot of people believe we may be headed towards a Hungary-Austria semifinal. That said, Sweden is no slouch. They have a couple very good players. That will not be an easy game for Austria to get through. That is the left side of the back grid. One of Netherlands, Belgium, Austria, and Sweden will be in the semifinal. On the right side of the bracket, the defending champions France will take on the United States, a considerably weaker United States from 4 years ago. And then, perhaps, the favorite, Italy, will face a Romania squad with a couple of key players, most notably Stéphane Dobé. One of defending champions France, USA hosts Italy, and Romania will progress to the semifinal. How about that? France and Italy. France, the defending World Cup champions. Italy, the hosts, in the same quadrant, the upper right quadrant of the bracket. And then down to the bottom right is a seeded Argentina team, albeit a very weak Argentina team compared to 4 years ago, but they squeaked through with the seed. But they are playing beyond Spain and Sweden, the team nobody wanted to face as a seeded team. Argentina are facing Switzerland, who have two wonderfully talented players, a Bergman and Kielholz. This is a Swiss team that probably could have had a top seed. Nobody in the tournament wants to face the Swiss. We will see how Argentina handles this. And then finally, many consider outside of the Switzerland dark horse the team to challenge Italy. Germany will face a perhaps somewhat mildly less talented Brazil team who were eked out of a top seed because France were the defending champions. We are ready to proceed to the knockout stage, the round of 16 for 1934 World Cup, hosted by Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be broadcasting every game of the 1934 World Cup. This is unbelievable. Knockout tournament. 4 games you win and you are the official world champion. And the defending champion France qualified. Italy are monstrously favored. Many people think Hungary and Austria will win the left side of the bracket, if not then Czechoslovakia. And many people on the right side of the bracket believe Germany can push Italy. There's not much talk about the defending champions France. And then many people are citing Switzerland as the overall dark horse of the tournament. We will be continuing next time with the first game of the 1934 World Cup hosted by Italy. Will France defend their status as world champions and win their second World Cup? Will a heavily backed team like Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Austria, or Germany get to the crown? Will the hosts Italy, in front of their leader, win the World Cup? Or will the hipsters dark horse Switzerland do what many think they can do and push Germany and Italy aside, push the defending champions France aside, push Argentina aside, and challenge for the World Cup? Or will we have a surprise we haven't even thought about? Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, the 1934 World Cup. It will begin soon.